Good evening and thanks for joining us. We have a lot of local content, which is good. We'll start with sports. New pro in town, as Carly Egger is going to tell us.
Yes, Kyle Mullihan, look out. You got a little competition now. Mullihan, Mulligan, same difference. But yes, very exciting news. There is a new golf pro in town.
Very good. And Gerard, it was kind of a wonky day today. It was very warm. Well, I think
I like
so.
that word.
Well, good. I'm glad. It was very warm and then started to rain, so...
Yeah, it's like that at this time of the year, and this is what we're dealing with right about now. Yes, Jack, it has started to rain, for those of you who have observed that, and that rain is going through the course of the evening. That humidity is going to rise some more. The winds out of the south-southeast and gusting. The flags at the top of the building are almost literally straight and fixed even. Let's look across the region quickly, because in the Lakeland region, a buildup of cloud cover is happening, and a similar story is taking place there, even with that 22 degrees Celsius. As well in the Battlefords, overcast conditions and expecting some precipitation before it's all done. Those clouds are accompanied by 22 degrees Celsius.
It's National Access Awareness Week, a campaign started over 20 years ago by Rick Hansen to promote better access to buildings for people with disabilities. But as Robert Buffum tells us, in many places in the border city, they still remain difficult for people with wheelchairs.
A fluke accident 4 years ago changed the path of Chris Repp's life.
While in the shower, I slipped and fell and hit my side on the side of the tub and kind of hit my head on the sink. And when I fell, I ruptured my bowel. A few days later, I woke up and couldn't move anything from about nipple line down.
He was rendered a paraplegic, reliant on his wheelchair, and restricted where he could go.
Once in a while, you get a kind of rude reminder that, yeah, you got some limitations when you can't get into a place.
Repp says this co-op gas station has always been very thoughtful, but not everywhere has been as accommodating.
There's a few places that are difficult to get in, either with ramps partly blocked or even just narrow sidewalks.
Recently, he found his path into a local Shell gas station obstructed.
The ramp to get in's partially blocked by a cooler.
This is the gas station where apparently there was a problem, and this here is the ramp where Chris said he had a difficult time accessing the entrance. Apparently this cooler here was about here. It's since been moved back by the owner as about 2 feet.
The owner admits the change helped.
We did move the freezer down a couple feet, so it's actually even more accessible now than it's ever been.
There are several other buildings in town, especially heritage ones, that need upgrades.
According to Repp, various places in town are not easily accessible by wheelchairs. This bank has an automatically opening door, but it doesn't have a ramp.
But other older buildings in Vermilion have adapted, including Lakeland College, where Dale Pierce says such change is critical.
For individuals who are in wheelchairs, walkers, or the scooters, to feel part of the community, they need to have that accessibility to the community. If there are any areas in itself that this stops them from getting in or getting out, then sometimes this can take away from being part of the community.
It's a community awareness that Repp hopes will continue to grow. Robert Buffum, Newcap News.
Starting this fall, registered Alberta post-secondary students will have a chance to get paid while volunteering. It's a joint effort between Volunteer Alberta, the government, and Alberta's Students Executive Council. It's called Serving Communities Internship Program. And Kathy Lee has the details.
This fall, Megan Dow plans to study environmental sciences at the University of Lethbridge.
I've always been really concerned about the environment and where Canada is going and what they're going to do to help it out, so I want to be a part of that for sure.
Like many going into post-secondary, the biggest burden on students is the high cost for school.
It's 4 years and I've calculated out to be $23,000 so far, but it might go up because every year it seems to.
The issue of cost is long-standing and the reason why members of the Alberta Students Executive Council came up with a 3-year pilot called Serving Communities Internship Program.
It provides students with a significant bursary to be used towards the cost of pursuing their studies, and in the long term it allows students to gain important skills needed to build meaningful careers.
Volunteer Alberta identified a number of organizations students can apply to in order to gain meaningful work experience.
Through the government's website, the SKIP website, students will be able to apply for the program and then find a placement that Volunteer Alberta has identified as having a need for a student to work.
The $1,000 bursary is available for students in any certificate, diploma, undergrad, grad, or PhD program at one of Alberta's 26 post-secondary institutions.
It's really, geared towards students who want to develop their skills and use their knowledge in the programs in the areas that they're studying in.
A program that provides career opportunities and a cash bonus is music to her ears for students like Dow.
Yeah, if they can get money out of volunteering, that's pretty awesome, right? And if it could go towards your education and you get government funding, then that's great. I'd take full advantage of that.
Application for the SKIP program will be accepted in the fall of this year with 500 bursaries available. The plan is to award 1,000 bursaries by the third year. Kathy Lee, Newcap News.
Cancer is a debilitating disease affecting millions of Canadians. Every year, people raise money for research, and Clayton Brown caught up with a Lakeland man who is going the extra mile to do his part to help.
72-year-old David Price will be jumping on his bike at the end of the month to participate in the Enbridge Ride to Conquer Cancer down near Calgary.
It's 100 kilometers. It's the official end of it, but then you have to go another 10, 20 kilometers down to where the tents are. And that's the first day, and then the next day, of course, it's approximately the same distance back.
David's seen firsthand what the horrible disease is capable of doing. His wife of 40 years, Mary Ann, passed away in 2008 after a 5-year battle.
It just got worse and worse and worse to the point where she had a hard time walking, and she was bedridden most of the time, and it's not a very nice life.
Although it's too late for the race to help his wife, David just hopes the little bit he can do will make a difference for another family.
One of the reasons I'm doing it is I'm thinking that I might be able, the little bit I might be able to do might just help, find a cure for this.
Biking was always a love David and Mary Ann shared, so it was a natural fit when the Cold Lake senior found out about the ride. He says it means a lot to be able to participate in the over 200-kilometer trek.
I kind of think of her when I'm riding, and they're always good thoughts. We enjoyed riding, and when we weren't riding, we were hiking in the Rocky Mountains, and it's always been that way.
With the generosity of the community, David says he's raised well over the minimum $2,500. In Cold Lake, Clayton Brown, Newcap News.